Welcome to Courtside Moms. I'm Wendy Sparks.
And I'm Stephanie Folahan.
Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Karri Kuzma, who is the awesome mother of Kyle Kuzma of the LA Lakers. Before we bring Karri on, Stephanie, how was your week?
I had a great week. I feel like I always have a great week. What about you?
This week, I actually had a good one. I actually had a Zoom call with some of the professional parents of basketball players. We were speaking about what's going on with the voting and making sure the players are getting registered. And we had a guest speaker, and it was Reverend Al Sharpton.
Oh, my God.
Yes.
Really?
Yes. So to just listen to him talk with the parents and give his ultimate words of wisdom was fantastic. I mean, he took a few minutes out of his book signing to be with us. So for me, that was the highlight of my week.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So tell me, what'd you do?
Well, now I can't go. Next time I need to go first to make sure that I can compare.
You can top it.
Right?
Oh,
so I had a really good week. I found out that I'm a finalist for New Business of the Year with the Halifax Chamber of Commerce.
Good for you. Congratulations. But tell us, what do you do?
So I'm an accountant, and I have a small accounting practice, and I've got like a small team. Everything we see is small, but it's big to the clients themselves. And so even just to be recognized in this is pretty cool. It's not necessarily anywhere I saw like myself going or happening for me. So really cool thing to be a part of.
I love nothing more than to see a woman who was recognized for her talents. You know what I mean? Other than being a fantastic mom, we are more than moms. We are, you know what I mean? We have careers and we do what we do, and we do it very, very well. So congratulations to you.
Thank you. I have Deja's birthday's on Tuesday, and I didn't do nearly, not even remotely close to what we did for Caesar's birthday for her. So I know the buildup is there. She, in her head, she's like, I've been waiting 2 months. I know it's my time. They're going to go all out. Caesar got a whole room, and I didn't do anything yet.
Busy mom. That's okay. I'm sure you guys will figure it out, and she'll appreciate it no matter what you guys do.
She's pretty easy. So last minute, like, a cake and a couple of mermaid toys will be fine. But in my heart, like, I know the effort versus like the weeks of build up for Caesar's. I'll have some guilt around that for a little while.
Well, birthdays are big for kids, right? It's big until you get to like 40 and then it ends.
30. I don't want to talk about birthdays anymore.
No, I celebrated till I was 40. Yeah. After a while, I was like, okay, now we're good. But
yeah, like we did Ming's birthday huge this year, and then like my birthday came along, and I was like, don't even say it. Like, I'm not ready.
You know, for me, I always wanted my kids' birthdays to be big, and it was funny because growing up, you know, I would have birthday parties and stuff, but then now they're adults, I don't know what to get them. And, you know, my 22-year-old, he always wants, you know, I give him money.
Yeah.
And Dre is huge. You know what I mean? He really, really, really wants a lot of money. You know what I mean? So that's what I give him when I can. And then Kim, I mean, what do you buy an NBA player? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have that salary, so I laugh all the time, and I'm always like, what do you want for your birthday?
A card with $20.
I tell you, and I pray, and I tell him all the time, like, just say nothing. You know what I mean?
Right? Make it easy for me. Help me out.
Well, you know what? We have Karri Kuzma, who is ready to join us, and we'll ask her, what did she do for Kyle's birthdays growing up as a kid?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Hi, Karri.
Hi, how are you?
Good, yourself?
Good.
Good. Well, thank you for coming on our show. We really appreciate you taking some time. My question to you, with Kyle, you know, being a little boy, what is the difference between the gifts you got him then to the gifts you get him now as an NBA player?
So the gifts, like last year, they have to be more thought out for sure. Like, realistically, you know, he can buy himself whatever he wants.
Yeah.
So last year, I know this oral surgeon, and he's big into astronomy, and he does birth charts. So I had him put together a birth chart for Kyle. And it was really cool. It was like 50 pages, and it went through like everything, and he really liked it. He's kind of coming into where he's like, maybe I'm pushing him a little bit, but I'm really spiritual. So he's kind of getting into that sort of thing.
Nice.
So
Well, that's
So that's
thinking
what we
of
got him. And then just like things for his house for Christmas, I got him one of those like a 6 foot long, like a fire pit, but like whatever the fake flame ones are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, they just have to be thought out more.
Yeah.
It's not like you can just give him a pair of tennis shoes and
The go-to.
he doesn't want any more tennis shoes. So,
Yeah.
you know.
I never know what to give my son for his birthday, what I was saying. Neither one of my kids. I mean, Cam, he plays for the Orlando Magic. I'm like, what do you get? A Magic player? And I always laugh, you know what I mean? And he's in the middle of Orlando, you know what I mean? I'm in Canada, you know what I mean? We're so cold. So if I'm going to buy a fire pit, I want to keep it for myself. I don't want to get it to him. Like, I want to give him nothing. Like, you buy it for both of us. Yeah.
And I'll keep it here.
Yeah. I'll keep it for when you come to see me.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I'm going to start doing. Yeah. So thank you for telling us. Thank you for sharing that idea with us. So we want to thank you for coming on the show, and we want to learn more about your son and who he is as a person, who he is as a player, and just how it all started for him and for you as a basketball mom.
So as a basketball player, he's a very hard worker. You know, his mentality and his work ethic are clearly top notch, just because if you know where he came from and, you know, what he played like when he was in even 9th grade, you probably would be astonished.
Wow.
So clearly he has worked really hard to get where he's at. And then as a person, he's funny. He's hilarious. He likes to joke around. So he's got a great personality. He's caring, cares about people a lot. So that's pretty much
You did
him
a good
in a
job.
nutshell.
So is it fair to say that the Fisher-Price basketball net that you bought for him when he's a toddler, is that fair to say that that's where his love for basketball came?
I think so. You know, living in Michigan, you can't get outside much. So, you know, if you can just throw that in your living room,
Yeah, that's true.
and then they can just play on it year round. Yeah, I think so.
So you raised him, and you have 2 other kids, is it? Right.
Yep,
And you
Brianna and
raised,
Andre.
that's right. So you had to raise your kids in Flint, Michigan, which is a really rough and violent area. So as a single mom, like, what did you do to make sure that your kids were safe?
Cal would probably tell you that I'm very overprotective.
Yeah.
Very, you know, and I think most moms are, but like I never really, you know, went out to the bars or anything when they were little. You know, I didn't drink around them. I didn't, you know, do any kind of drugs. I worked, brought them food, you know, took care of them. And I think the biggest thing with me, I just was overprotective. I just really watched who they hung around. You know, I didn't let them go a lot of places. They probably thought I was mean, but you know what? They're still here. So, and I can't even imagine having kids today. Like, not with everything that's going on. I can't even fathom it. So,
I can only imagine having to find things for them to do to keep off the streets. And Kyle used to go to the YMCA a lot and has a special connection with them till this day. How often was he there?
I mean, he didn't start going to the Y till I would say he's like later middle school, high school. I mean, for the most part, you know, they played games when they were little, and when he was home, you know, he went to the Y, you know, when I was at work or I had to work long days, he'd want to go hang out there. I don't know. He probably went maybe once or twice a week.
And that's where he started to play basketball?
I mean, he started playing basketball when he was in like the 2nd grade with Monte. So, Monte Morris. Mm-hmm. So they were on a little team called the Flintstones, and they played in Beecher. And they were cute. And everybody used to call Kyle the little Tayshaun Prince. So, being able to watch them play when they were that young and just watching them grow into what they are now is just like, time flies. It's just mind-boggling. It's amazing.
Isn't it great to see them where they start and where they are now? You know what I mean? That progression of them being young boys, impressionable boys, and now they're young, impressionable men.
Right. Just still boys to me in my head.
That's what I mean.
Right. Yeah.
Still little Kyle, no matter what he does. He's still baby, right? Like Stephanie, Caesar is how old now?
So I'm like sitting over here at the edge of my seat, like waiting to jump in because I've got a little boy. His name is Caesar. He's 4. And I keep trying to catch wind of when Kyle took it seriously. So when you asked the question about him going to the Y, because my husband is 7 feet tall. So it's sort of inevitable that basketball will be the sport that he gravitates to, or hopefully that he's interested in because he will be probably pushed into it. But he doesn't show any interest in it at the moment. So when Kyle was really young, you said in the 2nd grade he played for the Flintstones. Did he take it seriously? What did he just want? Was he there because you sent him, or did he have fun?
He was pretty serious about it, but he did have fun too. I think he's always really taken basketball seriously. So I think just deep down he's a competitor. So much like me. I think
it's a good quality.
So,
and was he tall early?
No, actually. So he didn't really have a growth spurt until his senior year in high school.
Oh, wow.
But he was like 6. I would say he's probably like 6'1", like his junior year, maybe 6'2".
Okay.
And then I had because he had went away to a prep school in Philadelphia. So I had went to watch a tournament, which was like, I don't even know. It was a while later. Cause I worked a lot. So I didn't have, time to travel or money to travel. So when I had went to see him, I was just like astonished. He had grown he was like 6'6".
Oh, wow.
From like 6'1". I was like, wow.
Who is this?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It happened really fast.
Well, so you said he went to prep school, which was, I believe, Rise Academy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so what did he do to stand out? Because at that point when he was playing high school, he wasn't really getting that visibility that he wanted. And then he started sending out tapes, and hence Rise Academy. So what other things did he do to stand out? Because it must be hard for a young boy who really just, the vision for our boys are just NBA. They don't see anything else other than NBA. And when you're not getting that, you know what I mean? When people are not knocking on that door and calling you, there's things that they have to do, and us as parents have to do to make sure that our kids are in the forefront, especially when you're playing for schools that have not much visibility. So what did you have to do and he have to do to kind of put him in front of everybody else?
The thing about Kyle, I think he knows what he wants and he goes after it. Yeah. Because like pretty much the whole prep school thing, he played during the summer for different AAU teams, and he had a couple of good coaches that actually, helped him along the way. Paul Carmona was one of them. He played for Dorian's Pride. So I actually didn't do anything to get him into the prep school. Kyle had it all determined from like 8th grade. He had like a plan A, B, and C. Right. He was going to be in the NBA, or he was going to go overseas, or he was going to be a commentator. And so it was like his junior year, right before his senior year, and he had found a prep school to go to. And so when he told me, he said, I'm not going to go to Bentley my senior year. I'm going to, I found this school to go to. And, I just trusted him. And I said, okay. And he, told me like a month before he was going to leave. And it was like August. And then it was time for him to leave. And he went.
Wow.
And so as far as like, him like sending out the tapes and stuff, I think when he had his growth spurt, like his senior year, I think it just kind of brought, I don't know, like all of his skills together, from him being shorter, he generally had, decent handles. And then when he got taller, just kind of like put everything together because, not a lot of tall guys can, dribble the ball and do all that stuff. But so I think it was his growth spurt that really put everything together. And then just, his coaches. And then he went to a couple of big tournaments. Right. I think one was in Pittsburgh and the other was in like Las Vegas. And everything just came together. Like he did great, he was scoring like 28, 30 points every game. And, there's always going to be some college coaches there and just started looking at and recruiting them. And I think that's where Utah saw him first, was maybe in Las Vegas. So.
Well, prep schools seem to have helped him because now at this point he was playing with more competitive players, which really upped his game a lot, which now.
Plus you're playing more, more than just high school.
Right, mm-hmm. Right. And he was getting more recognition. So what was that like now to start to get offers now from all these Division I schools?
Just amazing.
Was it expected?
I think it was expected he was going to play somewhere, but when it was, all the big name schools, it was just like, wow, just kind of overwhelming just to think like your kid is, going to play at one of these schools.
I understand how you feel about that because with my son too. I mean, we're from Canada, right? So the thought then was in order to play or to go to a different level, you have to move to the U.S. And then here I was getting all these letters and all these offers. And after a while, I'm like, oh, it's too much. It's too much. Like, you know what I mean? Because I didn't know anything about half these schools. Not even a quarter of these schools, never even heard of them. And when I looked them up, you know what I mean? They were huge. So that for me as a parent made me say, okay, you know what? I'm going to have to get more involved now and really look and see, which schools are the better program for my son, because he didn't care. He just wanted to get on the team, put a jersey on and play. It didn't matter to him if it was in Kentucky, if it was in Russia. He didn't care. He just he just wanted to leave home and leave home now.
Like, I'm ready. Let's go.
Yeah. I can't imagine one of them telling me they want to leave home. I'm not ready.
Stephanie, you're going to have to get ready.
Well, my husband would ship them off now. Yeah. Like, Ming is ready for them to go. Yeah. And I'm like, they can just stay home till they're 40. Can then take care of us.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
When Karri was talking, she said that she works a lot. And it was like a bit of an aha moment for me because I work a lot too now. And maybe prep school makes a lot of sense because there's going to be things that I'm never going to have time to do based on my career. Right. So thank you for that. I don't have a question around it. I just really had an aha moment when you were talking right there, working a lot in prep school, like the synergy there.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of parents will ask me, because they're not sure whether to leave their kids here or, send them to a prep school. And I say that they get way more exposure at a prep school than they would ever get in like a local high school. And the only thing is you just really got to check out the prep schools and make sure that everything's good.
Checks off. Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, prep school was new. I didn't even know prep school existed. You know what I mean? For where we grew up, it was you went to high school, you went to college, you went to university, and that was it. So when people were saying to me, well, no, your son should go to a prep school, that was really a learning curve for me. And quickly, because I had the prep schools that were calling, you know what I mean? And the universities were already calling. But of course, for after when he went to prep school, and it was just a lot. But I guess as a parent, you really, really don't have much of a choice but to, you know what I mean, make that investment and see
Right.
where things lead.
Right.
So you had all these offers, and how did you make that choice? Like, how did Utah come into play?
Kyle made the choice, and honestly, I think it was because they were one of the first schools that showed interest in him and kind of followed it all the way through. And at the time, Larry, who's the coach, he always reached out to Kyle, and every time I talked to him, he said he'd be treated like family, and which they did. Him and his family, him and Jan, like, they always included the boys in like everything, dinners and when I did go out there, their house was open to me. It was nice. So it was a family atmosphere.
But he had to redshirt the first year, right?
Yep.
Why did he have to redshirt?
I think it was just something that had to do with the prep school.
Right.
Yeah, and I'm not sure exactly what it was, but I'm not sure if it was like the grades or I don't know, but it had something to do with prep school.
How hard was that for Kyle to have to sit out?
It would be hard for anybody that loves basketball. You don't have to sit out, just do practices and
Yep.
not be able to play in the games. So
Yep. I'm asking because my son too had to sit out. He had to redshirt for a year when he went from Pitt to UNLV, and the poor child, he was just itching to get on the court, just dying to get on there. And they did a tour when he left Pitt and went to UNLV. They did a tour in Canada. So they came to Montreal, our hometown, and then they went to Ottawa. And Ken was just sitting there, and his friends were there, and everybody was happy to see him. You know what I mean? But it was like he couldn't be there. He couldn't really play in front of them and stuff. So. Yeah, that's why I was asking, because I understand what it's like to, you know what I mean? They just want to play.
probably torture.
Just as bad as us making them clean up their rooms.
Right.
I just did that before I came here.
Yeah.
Go clean your room.
So he played. I mean, eventually he got to play, and he dominated him and played what I think was 2 great seasons. And then he was invited to the NBA Combine. What was that like? Was it
Exciting.
a shock? Yeah.
It was exciting. He did well there. So,
Yeah.
I just think that he was ready for that moment. When you want something so bad and you practice all your life for something, show up and show out, I guess.
Was mom ready though?
Yeah, I think I was. I was definitely ready. I'm more ready for the NBA draft. The combine, I think.
Well, of course. Yeah, well, let's move forward to draft night. What was that like for you guys? I mean, he was projected to go even second round or undrafted, and here he ended up at 27th overall. So, like, what did you guys expect?
For the most part, realistically, I didn't really care whether, as long as he got drafted. I mean, you can prove yourself anytime.
Yeah.
But when he was drafted the first round, it was really overwhelming. We had a little party for him. And I think everybody kind of thought he was going to go first round. So when they did call, his name, it was pretty surreal.
And then the Lakers called him. I mean, come on now.
Crazy.
The Lakers. The Lakers. I mean, Magic Johnson is the president of the basketball club. I mean, wow, to think that your baby's playing for with Magic Johnson, more or less. I mean, how was that for him?
For me or him?
For both of you.
For him, I think it was probably a dream come true. For me, same thing. I don't think I could have asked for a better organization for him to go to, just because of, where it's at and what it stands for. LA is so much bigger than just basketball. There's so many opportunities on and off the court, different than a lot of different places. The fan base is, don't get me started. But anyway,
We want to get you started. It's okay.
fan base is just huge. I mean, you can go to any game anywhere in the country, and there will be a ton of Laker, jerseys in the crowd. It's just crazy.
What was that like for you, though, as mom, to see Kyle play his first game, just say, amongst all the fans? And it's different. It's not TV now. This is real. It's really loud in there.
Well, I don't know. It was different. I mean, even when he was in Utah, I kind of got used to watching him play on TV because that was different for me too, But then I'm like, thank God I got a TV because I can't, fly to Utah. It's a long trip. So I got used to watching him on TV. So I think when he started playing for the Lakers, kind of the same feeling. It wasn't really anything new. The only thing new was like that uniform, like seeing him in, purple and gold uniform, which was like, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and, Magic and, just all of them. It was just like, wow.
Listening to people talk about Kyle, I'm talking about at the beginning, and they were saying things like, this kid is very special. This kid is going to go a long way. And even the late, great Kobe said that what he found different about Kyle was that Kyle was very inquisitive, and he always wanted to know why things are done or how things are done. And he said that's the attributes of a wonderful player. So how do you feel when you hear these people say these things about your son?
I mean, I think every parent likes to hear positive, uplifting things about their children, especially when they know, like, they're a good human being, and just hearing them say things like that. I mean, it made my heart melt, and just having like Kobe be a mentor to Kyle, like that was pretty special. Like even just him playing with LeBron and having him as a mentor, I think that those are some of the things that, nobody can take away from him, and the things that he will learn and has learned from them, like they're irreplaceable. Like nobody else could teach him those things.
That is so true because, should he move on one day to a different team, or should LeBron move on to another team, or whatever the case is, it's always wonderful that he'll always have those, he'll have that friendship, or he'll have that connection with him and that mentorship that will help him grow to be a better player in the future. Right. I mean, Kyle's young. He still has a lot of time left.
Right. And how to be a leader, and how to just take care of your body, which is one of the most important things if you're going to have longevity as a player. Mm-hmm.
So are you in the bubble?
No.
Nope. Have you spoken to Kyle about the bubble? Like, what's going on in there? Like, what's the hype there?
I don't think there's much hype. I mean, every time I see him, he's laying in bed. The only thing that there's a couple of things that the players do. They can go fishing, or they can go to the pool, or go golfing. Mm-hmm. So, for Kyle, he pretty much has mastered his golf game. And that's the one thing that he said, he'll definitely be doing after he gets out of the bubble the rest of his life. So, there's not a lot for them to do other than, what they need to do for their job. And then outside of that, there's not much.
Well, I guess he's getting ready for this series. What did you think about last night's game?
Nerve-wracking. I feel like they should have closed it out and won.
Yeah.
But one more. We're still ahead in the series, so tomorrow night they better just
finish it.
Clinch it.
Yeah. Last night's game, oh my God, I was screaming, falling off my chair, all the way down to the last second, that last shot. OMG.
Yeah. Yeah.
just waiting, saying, okay, this is it. This is it. I'm going to speak to Karri tomorrow. She's going to be a championship mom.
I wish I'd be in a much better mood.
How does Kyle feel about last night's game?
I didn't talk to him last night after the game, and I haven't called him yet. So, I mean, I'm sure like they're all just, they're probably not down on themselves, but they know they should have won and ended it. They want to get out of the bubble. I want them to be out of the bubble. I feel like they've been there so long that physically and mentally, this is where we're at right now because, I don't think people really understand. They think, oh, they're getting paid. They're, playing basketball. But when you're like, imagine being in a basketball camp for 3 or 4 months. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know if if you've ever played basketball, but, 2 weeks of a basketball camp's kind of enough.
A long time.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And then you're in there for 4 months and you can't see your family and there's nothing to do, which, a lot of them has said they've learned how to save money. Well, yeah, because you can't go nowhere. You can't go to all these fancy restaurants and,
So true.
But I think that, I respect all of them a lot for, being in there so long, but I think it's time to go. I think it's time to get out of there. So, because I think mentally and emotionally, physically, it has taken a lot out of them. So, I'm ready for them to win tomorrow night and be done.
Just to get out of there, eh? Yeah. Right. I know my son too. After a certain point, he was like, "I'm tired. I just want to go." I mean, he played his games as best as he could and did everything he could, but at the same time, he was like, I'm ready. Like, if we win, we win. If we lose, it sucks, but I'm sure he had like his feet like just ready to run, the other direction, because like he was telling me the bubble was hard. It's not as easy as a lot of people, Right. A lot of people thought it would be. Like you're saying, people say because they're players, like they should just accept the fact that they have all this money and like, I don't think one has anything to do with, what I mean? Like, what does having a lot of money have to do with you being able to cope more of being in a confined environment? I mean,
and it's people just don't get it. And
they don't.
Half the people that are saying stuff, or they probably never played a team sport in their life, so they have no idea, no concept,
or never experienced the lives that our boys are living, right?
Right.
So one area I wanted to talk to you about was Kyle's perception or his thoughts of Black Lives Matter, because I see that he's very vocal about it, and as a biracial man, like, what is his stance on what's going on today?
I think he's very involved. Yeah. Like I said, he's a caring person.
Yeah.
And I think that because he is mixed, and he's always kind of got it from both sides. Right. You're white, you're black, you're black, you're white. He has compassion for people, and, right is right and wrong is wrong. Like, you see what, people and cops do to, people of color, and it's just, it's not right. And for people to sit there and just say, all the negative things that they can, or Blue Lives Matter, blue is not a color of a person. Exactly. It's a job that you swore that you would protect people. And I just think that he holds it dearly to him, just because he sees what's going on in the world. Like, he's woke to like what's going on. Mm-hmm. And I think that you have to stay like that, especially if you're in the public eye, because that's their platform. Yeah. Not everybody has a platform, and not everybody, somebody might care about it, but they can't, they can't say what's going on, and they can't spread it like what, some of the NBA players can. It just reaches more people and allows other people to see what's really going on. And I'm not saying there's, all cops are bad, because we have cops in our family and they're good. And I know many good cops, but there's many bad ones out there too. Of course. So
the thing with the Blue Lives Matter is that they can take that off at the end of the day, and they can walk around and nobody knows they're a cop. But Like I have mixed children just like you, and they're black all day. So I see both sides entirely, but you, at the end of the day, when you clock out at whatever time as a cop, it ends for you right there. Whereas our
Right.
children have to experience this everywhere they go because this is who they will be forever.
I mean, this is something that the three of us with our babies are going to have to always explain. You know what I mean? Like I was talking to my son the other day, my youngest son, and I'm like, it's just weird because I would always have to tell them protect yourself, and he would always be like, from what? Because he didn't understand. Whole different world now. The difference is though, well, what's more prevalent now is that, like you were saying before, the cops or police are who we tell our children to go to be for protection. Right. I can't say that to my kids now. You're like, you know what I mean? I can't say, you know what I mean? Should you be somewhere and you need help, go to a police officer. That's probably the last advice I want to give to him now. You know what I mean? Or give them now. And it sucks because where do we send our children? Who's going to protect our children? And to me, it's just it's really a bad thing that we all have to go through, and I don't think a lot of people understand that our kids are just going to always be targets.
Right, and I just think that it's more prevalent and like just recognized now just because of the leadership in the country. Yeah. And which is sad. Everybody needs to go vote.
Yeah, a lot of parents have come together to make sure that our players are registered to vote. And with me doing some findings, that's where I saw some videos where Kyle was talking about it. So that's why I was asking you how, you know what I mean? Like, what's he doing and how is he campaigning? And you know what I mean? So I hope and pray that he's getting that message out as much as he can as well, and getting his, you know what I mean, his colleagues out there and his, you know what I mean, to get out there and vote, because without that, there's not going to be change. Yeah,
he's really into, fashion, and he's really into drawing and doing art, painting. So that's one of the huge things that he's started doing. And then, he started his own clothes line, and he's also represented by Puma. And so he actually helped them design a t-shirt for voting that I think it comes out on the 13th that you can buy from Puma.
Nice.
So it's pretty cool. It's just got like little different color arms at the bottom, and then it just says vote. So just to get the word out there a little bit more. Plus they're donating like $25,000 to help I think others be able to vote. So
wow, well, that's good. I mean, and it's nice to see our players get involved, right? Like when they kneeled the first time, and then when the Bucks walked off the court and everybody else followed suit. I mean, it's good to see that our kids are trying to make a difference, you know what I mean, and letting the world know that they're not going to stand for this anymore.
Right.
So, well, good luck in all his campaigns and everything else that he's doing, and I'm excited to see his T-shirt on the 13th.
Yeah, I think I posted it on my Instagram. So.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
We'll have to post it on our Courtside Moms site, and you know what I mean. We'll put on our platforms and
support it.
Yeah,
for sure.
Absolutely, and ask our fans to support it as well, because it's a great cause.
Right.
My last question to you is, as a mother, what advice would you give to another mom of an up-and-coming player?
I would just say, trust your child, believe in your child. Always be aware of their surroundings and the people that come in their circle, but just give them the ball and let them go where they may, but you just be in the background and be overprotective.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
I got that down.
Yeah, there you go, Stephanie. You know what? They say it's overprotective, but for us, it's just being a mom.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, Karri, we thank you so much for your time. Really, thank you for coming on Courtside Moms and just, giving us an insight as to who Kyle really is, and allowing us to learn a lot more about himself and yourself as well.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you and have an awesome day.
Thank you.
You too. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Join me and Steph every week on Courtside Moms, where you get a courtside seat outside of the arena.
Thanks for joining us. Subscribe and listen for free on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts.